and disrespect to what this industry is and what it's capable of, what it has been doing for decades now. The notion that it's whoever can spend the most money wins.
Nobody cares.
I want no part in that.
Nobody cares.
Truthfully. And I'm not saying that's what Microsoft is doing. I'm just saying that they are ushering in a new era where there is going to be a lot more money being spent, not just by Microsoft, but by other.
You unlock this door with a simple registration. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of memes. A dimension of trolls. A dimension of morons. You are moving into a dimension of both factual and unfactual information, of rumours and hopes. You just crossed over into the Twitter fanboy zone. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a spectacular day. I've just realised I've used the wrong intro. I used the wrong intro for my thingy. I should use the YouTube fanboy zone, but I've used my Twilight one, Twitter one, and I don't use Twitter one anymore. I should have used my X one. So I've really made a bosh job of that. Anyway, yeah, I was having a spectacular day until bloody I've just seen. Well, actually, I did see it all on Twitter. So in my defence, or should I say X, just the nonsense that is going on lately with the PlayStation fanboys. They must be there must be one like a queen idiot, which then just lays eggs, which gives birth to these PlayStation fanboys, because they all come from the same stupid stream of just nonsense, like Bubble World. That's where they come from. That's the universe they live in, the planet they live on, Bubble World. They all live in Bubble World. So we're all agreed they live in Bubble World, and the town they live in is Twitter. It's a place where all the stupid can meet up and have little stupid meetings where they can talk stupid and sort of exchange stupid as well. So in this town they all live in, we have idiots like King Thrash, whose latest sort of thing that's come out all over Twitter, once again making himself look the fool. Take a listen to this idiot.
Now, Bungie is not in a PlayStation studio. It's owned by Sony. Bungie is a Sony studio, not a PlayStation studio, right? Because Sony is a different entity than PlayStation. They used to be the same, but they split up. Now, if Sony gets hurt, PlayStation does it because they're different motherfucking things. But Sony they're still part of them, but they're different companies under the same roof. Kind of like Kellogg's owning like everything else, Hershey's and all that shit. Same exact shit. Y'all giggling, but y'all don't know shit about business, so it's all good.
Okay,
but it's just, I don't know. Y'all, like I said, y'all talking about numbers.
Everybody clip this.
Then clip it. Snap it. Clip it all, bro. Like,
what we y'all ass, Thrash?
Thank you for your percent for the clip it, man. I'll be doing this. I'll be chopping this up later on. Appreciate it.
Pepsi owns Frito-Lay, and Pepsi been in debt for the last fucking 10 years. Pepsi ain't never made money. They use Frito-Lay money to stay afloat. You don't know shit about business like I do. Like, it's like y'all just talk. It's okay, but I'm just saying the facts. Y'all wanted facts. You wanted me to make sense. I'm making the numbers make sense for you.
Sadly, King Thrash is confused again. He's sadly often confused. In this situation, I think what he's confused about is there's Sony. Sony is the company. Then they own SIE, one of the divisions they run, which runs all the game side as well as other stuff, media and stuff like that. Under SIE, you then have PlayStation that then looks after as PlayStation Studios. So now the PlayStation Studios, under them are divisions like Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, because they're game studios. They're not publishers, so they go under PlayStation Studios because they publish the games. However, the difference here is Bungie is already a publisher, so it doesn't have to run under PlayStation Publishing. So it runs under SIE. However, SIE is actually under Sony. Sony own them all. So Sony, SIE, which is Sony Interactive Entertainment, if they go bust, everyone underneath them, which is Bungie and all the game studios, all collapse. PlayStation collapses because they're all parented by SIE, who are parented by Sony. That's how it is. It's like a triangle. Sony at the top, SIE, and you've got other divisions, and then it all filters down. If the top one goes, it all collapses. The whole thing comes down like a house of cards, just collapses. There is no way PlayStation will just survive their own. They said this during the PS3 when PlayStation almost went under because the PlayStation 3 was such a failure. It went in the red. Sony had to help them out. They almost collapsed because it was just they lost a lot of money. Thankfully, the PlayStation 4, due to marketing really, not really due to the PlayStation's games or the console's ability, poor market on Xbox side and good market on PlayStation side, brought them back out of the red. However, this generation, not so good. However, while anyone chooses to listen to King Fresh and take anything he says seriously,
Fanboy suck a whole lot of dick. I mean, well, I do too, but
is beyond me. This is the guy that thought volcanoing was a word. This is the guy that tried to do maths on one of his videos and just, it was cringy to watch. He's also the other guy that did this. Question why in Starfield we can't land on gas giants. Literally gas. Why can't we land on gas and explore gas? Which hysterically was then called out by media. The media spotted this and also mocked King Fresh. So just to elaborate on Bubble World and Twitter Town they will live in, where Stupid lives. This guy, King Fresh, has 12,000, 14,000 followers, subscribers. So that's 14,000 Stupid that all just listen to him and take his word for stuff and follow him and give him money. This guy, they give this idiot money. It's incredible, isn't it? So you can now see what we're dealing with here, what I have to deal with, what I am now showing to you. So let's move on to the next person that lives in Bubble World. JTech TV, everyone. Another fella that obviously, as I said, comes from Twitter Town and has just, just a really bad grasp on reality and what's actually happening, and just a massive lack of knowledge of the gaming industry and world and everything around him, because he lives in Bubble World, of course. So let's listen to his take.
Hey, we won because we have more people. We're gonna add the multitude of people on Nintendo and PlayStation, add them together and say that they're part of the Xbox community, because the Xbox community as it stands, even with the PC community, it is smaller than the Nintendo and the PlayStation community. So
now he has two very odd takes there. Firstly, he says the side with the most fans is the winner. I mean, what's ever decided by what has more fans? Imagine you watch a football team and one team is the one with the most fans watching the game is the winner. Regardless of the results that come out of it, regardless of profits made or anything, all irrelevant. What matters is how many fans that team has. What is that based on? What kind of logic is that based on? You don't decide something's better. One product's better than another product because the amount of people, the amount of fans it has. This got to be the stupidest take ever. But it's not, because then he doubles down on stupid. And I don't know if you caught that, but let me play it again. He says this.
The Xbox community as it stands, even with the PC community, it is smaller than the Nintendo and the PlayStation communities.
He literally claims if you combine the Xbox and the PC communities, they are smaller than the PlayStation community or the Nintendo community. He thinks PC and Xbox combined are still smaller than the PlayStation community. How? How does he think PC and Xbox combined is smaller than PlayStation community? We'll just talk about this generation. Our games are dropping. This generation, PlayStation 5 games dropping. We know there's 50 million PlayStation 5s out there. How is that more than PCs and Xboxes combined on the market? How is that community bigger than PC and Xbox? Same for Nintendo, even with the Switch. It's got probably about 140 million consoles in the market. I don't know what it is at the moment, but I don't think even that community is bigger than PC and Xbox combined. I don't think all of them combined, they're probably not even bigger than PC. And the mobile was the biggest gaming community on the market. So can you see why this is Bubble World? Can you see Twitter Town? Can you see now how this is weird and why they are mocked continuously by people like myself and Fritanga and Ono and Zach? They make this and they do this themselves. This is so stupid. Here's something that challenges theory. If PlayStation has more players, a bigger community, than PC and Xbox combined, why are their games not getting more players than Xbox/PC games? Why are the Xbox and PC games that are coming out, things like your Forzas, your Grounded, your Sea of Thieves, stuff like that, why, and even Starfield, why is there more players playing them than the PlayStation games if they've got a big community? There's only two answers to that. One, he's either wrong, or two, they're not supporting their games. They're not buying them. They have got a bigger community, but they're just not buying the games. So it's one or the other. Which is it? They don't buy games, or the community's smaller. Which is it, Jay? I want to hear from you, mate. And before I hear from the sales and players, there's a difference, fan base, absolute morons. Yes, sales is still players. Someone buys a game, they still count as a player. That's a player. So if something sells 5 million copies, that's 5 million players. Okay, that's how it works. Whereas on the other side, they don't have to be copies because they could be through subscription services. They could just be through Steam, be through digital and things like that. It's just they just count players. Xbox and PC just count players because that's all that really counts at the end of the day. Who's playing your game, not how many copies it's sold. Because your copy could be sold and not played. Quite frankly, someone could buy your copy, get it, and go, don't like that game, not play it, or whatever. Right? It's irrelevant. They're still players. That all counts as players. When a game gets bought and Xbox, PlayStation, say God of War, it sells 10 million copies. That's 10 million players. And then when Xbox says it's got 11 million players, that's 11 million players. It still doesn't. The whole copies and players thing doesn't even come into the relevance of it. The other thing JTech also said, I don't know if you noticed that either. He says it's cheating that Xbox are putting games on PlayStation. It's not fair. It doesn't count. MLB The Show is on Xbox. So actually on Xbox Game Pass as well. That they count that. Does that count? Or is Sony cheating? Did Sony cheat first? Did they? I mean, the complete stupidity. These guys just talk and do not think about what they're saying because they live in their little town. They live in Bubble World. They live in Twitter Town. So they just circulate stupid around each other. So I said, I told you, I'm right about this. But this whole video is not even about these two idiots. It's about this guy, M.B.G. I think M.G.B. I'm not sure of his name. I know he's got funny teeth. That's about it. That's all I know about him, really. Don't really watch his content because he streams for 5 hours on his own, which in itself is odd. Can you talk to yourself for 5 hours? It's just weird. He has a massive following of stupid. It must be. I think he's got his own little town or a city, which is separate from Twitter Town. I think it's like, I don't know. It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be something big. 'Cause he's got a lot of subscribers, and they all just listen to he's stupid. Anyway, he recently said this.
In disrespect to what this industry is and what it's capable of, what it has been doing for decades now. The notion that it's whoever can spend the most money wins. I want no part in that, truthfully. And I'm not saying that's what Microsoft is doing. I'm just saying that they are ushering in a new era where there is going to be a lot more money being spent, not just by Microsoft, but by other.
So he doesn't want any part in a company coming in and starting spending their money buying stuff. He doesn't want any part of that. And he thinks what Microsoft is doing right now is new and is ushering in a new gaming future because this wasn't done in the past. And this really annoys me because I cannot emphasise this enough. I've shown this enough. But here we go again. Run VT.
The problem that we had was that the market in 1993 was dominated by Sega and Nintendo. They pretty much had it sewn up between them. So any new entrant into the market had to do something pretty dramatic and pretty special.
Sony does everything it can to round up third-party developers to support the PlayStation and is able to sign 250 in Japan alone.
My target was to get as many publishers and many popular title franchises to become available on PlayStation.
Sony also spends $48 million to purchase Psygnosis, the European developer behind Lemmings, and changes its name to Sony Interactive Entertainment.
So, to reiterate once again, in 1993, Sony joined the gaming market, looked at the competition, realised the best way they can compete is by spending their money because they're a bigger company, and they purposely went out their way, as they themselves said in 1993, to spend as much money as they can and buy as much of the market as they can. They bought as many exclusives as they can, now down exclusive to take them off the competition, and they bought themselves a publisher, and they purposely, as they said, they went out to buy as many publishers as they can, and studios. And yes, they say publishers, and I'm just tired of PlayStation fanboys just ignoring these glaring facts which Sony themselves have said they done. And I just cannot grasp why they're trying to claim this is something new, Xbox doing it. I just want to elaborate on another key point here. Microsoft was actually in the gaming industry first, so to say. Their first game was in 1990, before PlayStation even existed. So they actually created the first game. Yes, they're very minor games, things like Solitaire, Minesweeper, and stuff like that. Who remembers those games? But they were actually sort of started to step into the gaming industry before Sony. What they didn't do though is think, right, let's get into gaming. Let's just buy everything. Let's spend our money, because we're wealthier than Sony. Let's spend our money and just buy our way in, like Sony did. Nope, they tried to do it properly. They tried to work their way in normally. And the whole buying up of students, that didn't happen until 2018, when I think at some point Phil changed. Right, Phil took over. Xbox was just struggling because PlayStation and Jim and the media were pushing exclusives. They were saying Xbox can't compete, putting them down. You need to buy exclusives, spend your money, and then it just clicked. Well, it's probably nearer 2020. It just clicked in Phil. The only way you can compete with Sony, because they continuously buy exclusives. As they said to themselves, they've been doing this in 1993. Xbox, the only way they compete is by buying the market back, is by shutting down Sony. That's the only way. That's the only competition Sony see. That's the only competition they see. By buying stuff, gatekeeping everything, locking everything up. So Microsoft did the same. I mean, because prior to buying Bethesda, Sony was doing it. They made Deathloop. They was going to make Deathloop exclusive. They was going to make Ghostwire Tokyo exclusive. They was going to make Starfield exclusive. And then Phil said, that's enough. I've had enough. We can't compete because you keep just throwing money at everything, locking down everything. So we're just going to start doing the same. We're going to spend our wealth and start buying studios. The moment that happened, didn't it change? Didn't things change? Sony didn't like that. PlayStation fans didn't like, wait, you can't spend your money. That's not fair. Only Sony can spend money. Only Sony can buy up stuff. Only Sony can come out and announce that they're going to buy as much as they can of the industry to take over and control it. Only they can do that. Only they can have a monopoly in gaming. And how things have changed. And the irony of this is all the result of PlayStation fanboys and the media. The hate they've been giving over Xbox and the push for exclusives and the winner whoever has the most exclusives, the most consoles sold, and the yada 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 monopoly. Basically, the winner who ever has a monopoly is the winner. That narrative is what pushed Xbox to do what they're doing, because for decades they wasn't following that stream of revenue. They wasn't going to go down that route. Phil's always said he wants everyone to be able to play the games. He still says that, but Sony are pushing exclusive narrative and still trying to lock down games now, and the only way you can compete with that is by doing the same. So all this, every time they moan at Xbox, they've only got themselves to blame. And the irony, the sweet bitter irony here is MGB threatening to quit gaming if PlayStation loses. Now, what kind of a gamer would quit something because your team's losing? So you just quit altogether. Imagine your team. Why is it even relevant if your team's losing? There's no winner losing this. You're a gamer. There is no winner. There is no loser. There's just gaming. And if you're gaming, it doesn't matter what there is no position. It's all in your head. And it's just ridiculous that you'd actually quit a hobby just because your console sold less than another console. The whole narrative of that is absolutely pathetic and childish, to be honest. It's stupid. You're not a real gamer. You was an Xbox fan when back in the day when Xbox consoles had more, was doing better than PlayStation. Then you flipped, and you've only flipped for subscribers, and that's your panic. That's your concern. That if it flips back, those Xbox gamers won't be coming back to you. They're going to flip you off, and your channel will be fucked, and it will die along with you when you quit gaming. That's why you're going to quit, because you're fucked if Xbox takes over. That's the real thing here. I think that's the whole narrative, and you're worried about your future, not the future of gaming. You're worried the future of your channel. It's going to be fucked. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please put in the comments down below what you think and what your opinion is. I think gaming is just fantastic as it is. I think we've had a great year for 2023. Not so great for Sony. I think they're doing terrible, and they've been sloppy and lazy like they did the PS3 era. But Xbox, I think it's all just going up from there on, and I'm hoping they then push competition, which it looks like they're doing for Sony. Sony is starting to make an effort, though it's gradual, because I think they're a bit behind now because they didn't foresee it. As I said, they were too cocksure, and now they're a bit behind on that. It's sort of what Jim said to the FTC will take us a couple of years to catch up, and it will, no doubt. but no doubt they will, and then that will push innovation and competition, and it's good for gaming. At the end of the day, it's all great for gaming, and there is no winner or loser in gaming. There is just players. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please sub, share and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.
Even if that is how it goes, I will quit gaming.
Nobody cares. 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 Nobody freaking cares. Nobody 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 freaking cares. Nobody freaking cares. I'm just trying to tell you that no one gives a crap. It's true. And if you keep on talking, well then I will just ignore you. Oh my god, you are still going. How many times do I have to emphasize that no one's listening? Why can't you take a hint? Why can't you press the concept that no one has any interest whatsoever? Why is that so hard? And if you really, really think there's people listening, then I'm sorry, but I have to bring the news to you. The truth is really that nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.